We start this movie in medias res. You're on the highway. Your survival is on the line. Action.
Superhot was and still is a brilliant title that was released more than 8 years ago. The game worked excellently on computers and consoles, but it was even better in VR environment. Unlike playing on big TV, in VR you're right there, in the scene. Now some games have minor benefits from being transferred to VR, but for Superhot it was a perfect combination. Superhot was the first game where the mechanics were tied to the main character's movement. Practically, when you move, your enemies move. When you stand still, time stands still. This applies not only to the enemies but also to bullets from weapons and all other possible things that will help you to defeat your opponents. The best part was that this was a one-hit kill game, both for enemies and for you, so even the smallest mistake would cost you resetting the level you're on. The great thing in VR is that you physically move your hands, body and legs, dodge bullets and everything else to survive and reach the end of the level. Since then, hardly any game, if any, has followed such execution until this year. First we got Vendetta Forever title from Dreams, exclusively for VR devices. And now the veterans from Fast Travel Games bring us another great game of this type, called Action Hero. Action Hero is a title that fulfills the dreams of almost every person who enjoy watching action movies and often think, oh wow, I would handle everything in this scene so perfectly. Now, finally, at least in VR, you will have the opportunity to prove yourself as a real action hero, because in this game, you are the protagonist, the actor, stuntman on the set who needs to fulfill every wish of a slightly delusional and crazy director. You're his main toy, and he's capable of tormenting you for hours until you manage to perform every part of the movie, all the scenes at once, from start to finish. While playing this title, you will wonder if you're playing against other enemies on the set or constantly fighting against the director behind the camera. That's a good question, considering he tortures you more and more with seemingly impossible scenes. But when you step into the world of Action Hero, you will get an answer to that question. Although the mechanics could be described as an evolution of the Superhot title, there are a few things here that are quite different from the previously mentioned title. Firstly, Action Hero follows the story, or rather the narration of your director. In the game, you'll be a part of 5 fictional movies that incredibly resemble some real movies you have surely watched. Each movie consists of 5 parts that needs to be done, and each part has several scenes. Here comes the tricky part for all players. Scenes are part of one movie section, and if you mess up one scene, better said, if you don't manage to defeat all the enemies or simply get hit, which of course isn't in the script because you're an ultra super action hero, then you go back to the first scene of that part, not at the beginning of the scene where you died. This can be very frustrating, but it is also a good thing because the game forces you to be perfect and consistent in your performance. And now we come to the most interesting part regarding the mechanics. Absolutely all enemies that appear in the scene will rush you. And even at the beginning, nothing will be easy and naive. The enemies and the entire scene you're working on will be quite sweaty. And by that I don't mean just difficult, because yes, it will be very tough. But you will literally be sweating in VR until you complete a whole part of the movie from start to finish in one attempt. Yes, you can pause the game, but that's not such a good thing because it's easy to forget from which directions enemies will be rushing you. I played Superhot in VR, Vendetta Forever, about a month ago, and each game allowed me to take a break. But the crazy director in Action Hero forced me so much that I had to change clothes after every session, because how sweaty it is. Which means the next day my muscles were sore. But on the other hand, now I can squat, jump and wave my hands for hours constantly. It's not like anyone asked me if I wanted that. Out of all the games of this type, this one is definitely the hardest. Although the game has only 5 movies, each with 5 parts and around 5 scenes per part, totaling about 100 levels, you can complete everything relatively quickly, in a few hours. The thing with this game is that you will have to take it slow for the first, even the second playthrough, practically in slow motion. Even then, the game looks spectacular because each scene is excellently directed and has a lot of going on it. However, the best feeling comes when you learn each level from start to finish, and you're finishing them by constantly moving and defeating enemies with fluid motions. In other words, when there is no slow-mo moments. That is when you will truly feel like a real action hero, and everything you do will look impressive. Better said, everything you do will be impressive when you think about it, and you will be doing absolutely everything. Falling on the ground of your room, bending your body like Neo in Matrix, catching katanas and pistols flying around you like John Wick, and shooting at everyone moving towards you. Each part of the scene will become a magical experience, and all thanks to you, as you will be the main protagonist in the entire experience. And when you think, now I have finally finished all 5 movies, so I can start learning all the levels and try to beat high scores, then director's cut of each film will unlock. And that means crazier scenes with many more enemies and craziness, and of course much more weapons, bullets, and in the end much more sweating for you. Regarding graphics and presentation, everything is top notch, and honestly nothing less could be expected from a title coming from the fast travel games kitchen. The graphics surprised me because on the Quest 3 device everything looks crystal clear, full of colors, and even polygon count at certain moments were pretty high. While playing this title, I had absolutely no technical issues and difficulties. I had issues with my physical stamina because I was dead tired after each session, but that's not the game's fault, it's modern life. After spending a week with the game, I have to say it's one of the best experiences in VR. Fluid, fast-paced action with a brilliant idea that is excellently realized and executed. There are already similar games, but the whole setup of this title is simply genius, and a real refreshment. Although Vendetta Forever is one of my favorite games of this type, both for exercise and enjoyment, I have to say that Action Hero is right up there with it. The only complaint is that we only have 5 movies now, and that means around 100 levels. That sounds like a lot, but when you master it, you can literally complete some levels in less than 2 seconds. But as it says in the game, new movies and sets will release soon, and I cannot wait to jump into them as the main action hero. But that's not all. Since we are in the period of New Year's holidays and giveaways, Fast Travel Games sent us 10 keys for this game to share with our many subscribers on our channel. To participate in the giveaway, you need to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and write in the comments which is your favorite action movie. The giveaway will last until January the 7th, and then I will draw the winners and list their names in a pinned comment. If you find yourself on the list, you need to contact the email address found in the about information on this channel. And after that, you will receive this fantastic game for the MetaQuest device. Good luck everyone and happy holidays!